hello, party people. And of course, it immediately tells me, like, hey, your computer is overheating and about to explode. Wonderful. It's great. Everything's fine. Okay, now it went back to normal.
Fire's all been put out.
And of course, now it's back on. I don't know, man. This computer has just been on the fritz for the past, like, couple weeks now.
Yeah.
It's always had problems and stuff like that, but
it had a troubled youth.
Right? Yeah. This is episode 86 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. Hello, party people, and everyone out there in podcast land. My name is Kyle. I am joined by Melissa. How are you, Melissa?
I'm doing good, Kyle. How have you been this week?
This week has felt really busy and really stressful.
Yeah.
No particular reason why. It was just one of those weeks. It was like, there's just a lot happening, period. But I did go get my ID renewed, finally.
Now, did you get your state ID renewed, or did you go for that learner's permit?
I went with the state ID.
Okay.
And part of that was because I was like, this week is so stressful and so busy. The plan originally was to go on a Saturday and go get my thing renewed. And then that's when I found out I didn't have my birth certificate, and my parents had to mail it to me.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to wait for that. And that got there. It got stuck in the door, so I didn't think it came. And my parents were like, well, that was your last birth certificate. It was the only real one. Oh, my God.
Now you've never been born. You accidentally George Bailey'd yourself.
Yeah. It's like a strange Benjamin Button thing where it was just like, instead of de-aging, I just ripped up my birth certificate. Be like, take this, government agencies. I don't exist. No, but that got stuck in my door because we have the like slot for the mail there. So I got that. And then the plan was like, cool, I'm going to go on Wednesday.
Okay. The coolest
And I'm going to
day.
give myself like 2 nights to just study for this like permits test. Because it's not going to be difficult. It's just common sense. But it's been like 8 years since I took that test. So I might want to like brush up on some stuff. And Monday night, I was just incredibly busy and didn't get to do anything I wanted to that night. And so I was just like, well, now all I have is Tuesday night. I'm going on Wednesday. I've told my work I'm gonna be at the DMV on Wednesday, so it's like set that I am going. And then Tuesday at work was really busy, and I was just like, I don't want to do anything when I get home on Tuesday. So I was just like, I'm just going to get the ID. It's so much simpler. So that's what I did, but I can go back and then take the test when I'm not as stressed.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about it right now.
When I took my driver's permit exam, it was, I think, the week before the 4th of July. So the entire DMV office was decked out in patriotic decorations, and it made me really nervous because I felt like America was watching me.
Don't let Uncle Sam down.
Uncle Sam wants all citizens to have a car.
Yeah, exactly. I went on Wednesday.
Okay.
And I went first thing Wednesday morning, and good God, the DMV is a nightmare. The DMV is awful.
I gotta tell,
we all know that.
No,
but
well,
that's just
nope. Let me tell you, Kyle. You gotta hit the right days and the right times, and the DMV can work very efficiently. You went on the 4th of the month. We all know that the very beginning and the very end of the month are the nightmare times.
I didn't know that. No one told me that. That wasn't on my driver's test 8 years ago.
Because then you would flip it around and then everybody would show up on the 15th and then the 15th would be the new nightmare time. And then you would have to go on the 4th.
But I went like first thing in the morning. I got there like an hour after they opened, so it wasn't even that, like they're like, I was like, all right, if I get there at that time, like the people who were like, I really need to just get my shit done will be there, and then I'll be one of the first ones behind them, so things will move fast, right?
Yeah.
And I was there almost all day.
Wow.
I got out at like 2.
What?
Yeah,
Hold on. What time did you show up there?
I got there just past 9, and I was there till 2, and I was just like, okay, I'm sitting here waiting, doing nothing. This is great.
Wow. Oof.
Yeah, and we have a huge DMV here in Richmond. This is bigger than the one that we had in Northern Virginia that I actually went to go take my permit test at. And yeah, they have like 20 something different stations for people to be helped at, and this thing was just packed.
Wow.
I was just like, oh God, there's more people than I expected here. This is not good. This is not fun. And so I wait all that time. I get up to the thing, and they're like, okay, we need all your forms and documentation and all that stuff. And so I hand them all the documents, and they go, and your forms? I was like, they never gave me forms. I went up to the guy to check me in. I was like, I'm here to renew my ID. I have all the stuff. He's like, okay, here's your number.
Yeah.
Like, cool, thanks. And they were like, oh, you needed to get a certain form to fill out to make this happen. So I was just like, oh no, they're going to send me away, right? Thankfully, they did not. And they were like, you can fill it out right now. It'll take 2 seconds.
Yeah. How much info was on there? The card is it's this big.
There's not much. So they got that squared away. So I should be getting that soon in the mail sometime. So one crisis averted. Whew.
Do you think you looked handsome in your card picture?
I looked fine. I don't like this was not like a glamour shot by Deb. Right?
I want to look like the new footage of Batman. Because when I got my first license, like, I think it was in the middle of the summer, so I was just sweaty and greasy. It was like August or something. I looked miserable because it was so hot outside. No. And also, like, I didn't really know how to do my makeup very well then. I had my license renewed October before last. I'm like, I know what the deal is now. So I'm like, what is a photogenic shirt? I'm going to do all my makeup. I'm going to do my hair. It is shellacked down. The wind's not getting to me. I really tried. Like, that was a point of pride for me. Like, I want a good license photo.
There you go. Did you smile? That's the thing that I want to know. Why is my scene switcher thing not working now? Come on, Stream Deck. What are you doing? Whatever. So you smiled for your
as
picture.
Much as I felt like was suitable.
Okay. I did not, but I looked pleasant.
Oh, that's
I'm not
good.
sitting there like mean old mugshot
like when your dad accidentally clicks like the front facing camera and mistakenly takes a picture of himself.
Right? Like it's not me sitting there like, huh? It's not that. It was just like resting happy face.
Oh, good.
It was good.
Time well spent.
But yeah, so that was a nightmare to get done. That kind of summed up my week.
Yeah. Oof.
So let me ask you this. What is This is something I did not put on the list.
Oh.
I just thought of it.
Surprise.
Kind of right before we went live. What was the first TV show that you remember watching that you knew you shouldn't have been watching?
I don't know, because we watched a lot. We were TV children. This is the benefit ? Of being the later children of parents who already had one kid when they were younger. Like,
Sure.
They're not very protective of you, and they're old and tired. So they're like, here, kids, the television, your third parent. TV
Go
raised
watch the
as
good
well.
old boob tube.
There were things that, like, Dad would let us watch that Mom didn't like. Mom didn't like King of the Hill, which is a very tame show. It is among the tamest, quote unquote, adult shows you could watch.
That's
I
a
think it
great
was
show.
like, here's the thing about King of the Hill is that I think Hank Hill casually curses more than like a Homer Simpson does.
God
Homer
damn it,
Simpson
Bobby.
just says dough. Exactly. Homer Simpson
Damn
just
it,
says
Bobby,
dough.
you speak English.
Hank Hill's gonna say damn it, and Mom didn't like that. But Dad was like, yeah, it's fine. So there were debates between the two of them. Oh, okay. When I'm 10 years old, my mom takes me to the Sam Goody at Jamestown Mall.
Okay. Good
She
store.
says like it,
Shout
and
out
this
to
is
Sam
2000. So I think DVDs exist, but we don't have a DVD player yet. They're not super common. So she's
Right.
like, you can buy a tape for your 10th birthday here at the Sam Goody. And I bought Tenchi, whatever iteration of Tenchi was airing on Toonami at the time. Muyo Universe
Probably
in
just
Tokyo.
regular Tenchi Mario. Yeah.
I don't know what version, but I like Tenchi. And I go to the anime section. I'm old enough to know what anime is. They're like, I want an anime movie, please. And I'm looking at all of these, and there's a Tenchi movie. And I think I'd read enough in my anime magazines that I would get at Blockbuster to know it's like, oh, this might be like an OVA, the original video animation, like those direct-to-video.
I would like one OVA, please.
One OVA, please. A single egg. You know, like those direct-to-video movies they would make that were kind of in continuity and kind of not. Like, I had a sense of what those were.
Yeah, like it's kind of one of those like retellings of like the first half of the show.
Right.
Yeah.
So I bought this tape, and my mom had no idea what it was, but she's like, oh, this is one of those shows you watch on Cartoon Network. Okay. So she buys me the tape. And some night I'm watching it, and it starts to get sexy.
Oh, that show is very horny.
But the version they aired on Toonami at 4 p.m. is not. And I didn't really have an idea of that. Like, you know, in Outlaw Star where they have the naked robot woman floating in the tube and she powers their spaceship, and for Toonami
like,
they put her in
I?
like
Where
like painted a
What was I
bathing
made
suit
for?
on her.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was painted on. Like, I'm 10 years old, like I can't tell. I would have no reason to believe she didn't come with a bathing suit on. So I wasn't real, unless I like specifically read something about it in An America magazine. I didn't really know like what was censored and cleaned up for the Western and often young adult audience. So I buy this movie and I'm like, oh no, this is sexy.
Did you watch one of the Hot Springs episodes? Because there's that one. He's like, "Oh, Dad, you're not teaching me to be a peeping Tom, are you?"
It's not that. No hot springs in this one. It might have been in like the Tenchi in Tokyo universe. I don't know. He's like off at school. There's like a girl at school that he likes. I don't remember what this movie is actually about. I really don't. All I know is like, oh, dang, there's boobs in this, because then that means it's like 10%, oh, cool, boobs, and 90%, great. Now what am I going to do with this? Because this means I can't just watch it all the time. If I want to watch this again, it's very hard for me to hide this. What if my parents, like, fast forward doesn't go that fast? They're going to walk past and they're like, what are you doing with this boob movie? You're 10. So, like,
what this dang booby cartoon on the boob tube?
So this means I can only watch this movie like if I'm home alone or like if I wake up very early or like
Amazing.
I'm up late at night. Like one of those nights where your parents fall asleep before they tell you to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
These rare, wonderful nights where it's like, well, you didn't tell me I had to go to bed. So I stayed up until 11:30.
Oh, Melissa. That's child's play. Child's play.
Well, that was late for me, you know, at 10. But yeah, I accidentally
Melissa,
bought...
you went to bed?
I did go to bed. I like bed. Bed, good. Yeah, so when I was 10, I accidentally bought a 16 and up anime VHS because we didn't know to look for a 16 and up marker on the box.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until after I got it home and got halfway through the movie that I noticed it was there.
Yeah, and thus Melissa discovered harem animes.
Yeah.
I asked you this because I posted a GIF of the tweet that was just like, hey, we're going live, and it had a GIF of Celebrity Deathmatch, and I think that was maybe the first show that I watched without my parents knowing, thinking like, I mean, it's not too bad, but I know my parents wouldn't want me watching this.
It is
like
crude. Yeah,
it was like overly violent and crude, and there was just like weird dumb jokes that I'm sure haven't aged well at all. And I was just like, man, how old was I when I was watching that? Apparently I must have been like anywhere between like 8 and 10 when I was
sounds right.
watching that, because I think that's when it first aired. I have their Wikipedia pulled up. 2 television pilots were broadcast on MTV on January 1st and 25th, 1998. The series proper premiered on May 14th, 1998, and ended on June 6, 2002. And then there was like a revival or 2 down the road. But yeah, that was the first one, but that was overall fairly tame.
Mm-hmm.
The next one that stuck in my mind was on the channel G4, and it was a show called Unscrewed.
Oh,
and it was
I remember
this like
this
talk
name.
show.
Yes.
Yeah. It was like this kind of tech related talk show.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So number one, the fact that it was a talk show, I was just like, that's what adults watch. So
yes.
Like,
it's like reading a
kids
newspaper.
Don't watch talk shows, yeah. So I was like, okay, what's the deal with these talk shows, right? In my best Jerry Seinfeld, what's the deal with these talk shows? But the thing that they started doing on that show is they would go to these like pornographic websites that these girls would make, and they would review them. And they would like sign up for membership and like talk about the website and what you got, and here's the benefits and all of that stuff. And they would show a couple pictures that were like censored for TV. But they had all of the links on their website. They were like, and you can go find out more on our website. And Melissa,
I had no
that
idea.
is how I discovered porn.
Okay, I had no idea that Tech TV and G4's consumer products review content extended to here's the various benefits you can get if you sign up for this porn website.
Yeah, it was just a random bit that they did. It was really funny. Just that it was there.
Yeah.
Like what is this?
This is staff pick of the month.
You're right. Porn star of the month. But yeah, like once they started doing that, I was like, oh, I shouldn't be watching this. Mm-hmm. This is I am a pure Christian boy.
That's right.
Don't watch, Kyle. As I am like peeking between my fingers.
See, I had none of that. Like,
oh man,
I was lucky to escape any kind of religious guilt about adult entertainment.
and then like it must have been one of those nights that I'm like watching G4 and MTV super late at night, because eventually I had a TV in my room with cable or with satellite TV, so I had like 2,000 something channels, right? But my room was in the basement and my parents were on the third floor of the house, so I was like completely other universe.
The third floor?
Yeah.
What, there's 3 floors plus the basement?
No.
Okay. Basement.
I
1, 2?
Middle floor, I guess, is floor 1, so floor 2 would be where my parents are at, and then I was in the basement. But 3 floors total.
I was picturing you living in a very, very tall, skinny house from like a Wes Anderson movie we have yet to see.
In college, I eventually lived in a row house, so it was very narrow.
Yeah.
I just like went back for a long, long time. But yeah, I remember like watching that late at night, and then after that flipping around the channels and like stumbling on some like HBO channel that we didn't have, but it had the static, so like maybe I could catch a boob or like a Girls Gone Wild infomercial.
Oh, yeah, I remember those infomercials.
They were amazing. They were terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was just a random thought that came to mind.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a good question.
Yeah.
Speaking of adult things, I wanted to ask you, this is the boring side of adult things. What is the most mundane item that you have ever bought for yourself as a treat?
Ooh. The stuff that's come to mind is like new towels,
right?
Or like bed sheets.
Yeah.
But I also bought it at a time where it was like, okay, I need these things. I want to step up. Like, I don't want to be that like poor college kid.
Yes.
I need more bed sheets and not these raggedy towels and stuff like that. So they were good purchases in that sense. More recently, I bought a bunch of fake plants.
Oh, cool. I love fake plants.
Hello, plant friend.
Oh, that's a nice one. That's high quality.
Yeah. I bought it was 3 of them about this size, if you guys can see on the video. I bought them off of Amazon. I have 2 on either side of my TV, and then I have this one here on my desk. And then I was like, good, I need more.
Yeah.
And so I bought little smaller, like, fake succulents.
Oh, it's precious.
Yeah, and I have that one. I bought a pack of 9 of them. So there's, stuff like that. I guess, yeah, Melissa, you're in that camera there.
I can see them.
But yeah, I've been wanting some more green, some more like plant life in my room.
It's good. I have 5 separate instances of fake plants in my apartment. Okay. I've got a vase of fake flowers on my desk. I have a hanging planter in my room. I have like a cute little fake potted plant on like the back of the toilet tank. So you got to use something to fill up that space. And then I've got one on my bar cart and one on my little coffee table by the patio. And then I've got one on my desk at work. I am all about the fake flowers life. Like if I had more money, I would spend a lot of it on fake flowers.
That is also part of me being like, I don't want to be a broke college kid anymore. Yeah. I'm about to be 30 this year. Yeah, I don't want to live that life. So I need more decorations that make things feel like homey and stuff, right? Just like I feel like I'm an adult when I live in a home, but I'm just like confined to my bedroom most of the time of my own accord.
There, or is that just where you huddle?
That's where I huddle. No, I'm free to go wherever I want in the house. But I like being in my room, my own space, and I tend to I like you can see all the like neon lights and colored lights and all that stuff, and a lot of people think that's just gimmicky and stuff like that, but I like it. I think it's really cool.
Kyle, I found myself in a dilemma this week. I have this string of Christmas lights that I have hung up like over my TV set in the living room, so that when I'm watching a movie or something, I turn off all the lights but those that are like kind of behind the TV and over it. So it like, it's some ambient mood lighting, and it helps with like the eye strain from watching one very bright box in an otherwise completely dark room. Like 2/3 of that strand burned dead this week. And so now I have to figure out the best place to buy Christmas lights in the middle of March.
I guess Amazon is where you can get them, just like fairy lights.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I got to find the right ones, and I got to find them at a good price. I'm going to ask my dad, like, hey, you are constantly in a hardware store of some kind. Which one of them's around here, like, still have got a back shelf full of Christmas lights in the middle of March?
Yeah.
One of them must.
I'm sure they'd be tucked away somewhere.
Right.
I wonder if, like, a party store, like a Party City or something would have some. They might not have very great ones, but I don't know. See,
that's the thing, is that I don't want to get cheap ones, because then what if they break and it's like, well, now it's the middle of August and I still need to find Christmas lights. Like, I'm just prolonging the problem.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's like a brand of trusted Christmas lights. Like, this is the brand that you need to get.
Philips? I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
Westinghouse.
But yeah, like I tend to get like blackout curtains and stuff like that. I don't know if you can see it on camera, Melissa, but if I go to my one, you guys can see like this white curtain on the window there. That's new. And that is a blackout curtain. So now in the like Sunday mornings when we record the review show, it won't be as like there's ambient daylight coming in and it makes everything look like super washed out. Stuff like that. Now it's going to be like, it's that like reddish pink color.
Yeah.
So it'll look a little bit better. But then, so because I do all of that, I'm like, I need plants that need zero sunlight. Plants that can thrive in the dark.
Exactly.
What are those ones? And I can't be bothered to water these things. So it's like, I need plants that need no light and no water. What are those? Plastic. Yeah. Exactly. So I've bought those 3 that I mentioned, and then a set of 9 of those succulents, and I have like 6 of the small succulents out underneath my TV, so that looks a lot better.
Nice.
I have 2 of them here in front of my computer, and then I have 1 on like my dresser. So who knows what ones I will buy next? But it's nice to just like feel like your space is home.
Right. This is why I love.
I just have a bed.
Right. God, it's awful. Have you ever dated someone whose bedroom had absolutely no comfort or ambience to it?
No. Yeah, no.
Oh, well, lucky you then, because I have been faced with this, with just square, bland, warmthless man bedrooms.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable. Like, most of my furniture is still my childhood furniture because my parents like bought really nice furniture.
Way to go.
Yeah, and like it still works. It's still sturdy. It's not like something you can get off of Amazon or IKEA and it'll fall apart. It's actually made from wood and all of that stuff. But I've still been like, it's my childhood stuff. Like I don't want this. Like you can still see the like. What was that?
No, this dresser I've got behind me. I've had this dresser my entire life. On one of the side panels of like the dresser part of it, there is an old marker drawing my brother did that we've never figured out how to remove. And I'm never getting rid of this thing. I love it. I can't do without it now.
Yeah. But it's like, so I'm at my childhood desk right now, and it works just fine, except I wish it was just wider.
Yes.
Like I'm bigger now, especially with all this podcasting stuff. Like I just need more space.
Yeah.
For all of this stuff, and it would be fine, but I have shelves or like drawers too, so that takes up like half of the like leg space and all that. Yeah. It's like if I could just spread out and do my thing, you know?
I need a free-form wiggle desk.
Yeah. You've heard of the wiggling devil statue. Have you heard of the freeform wiggle desk?
It wiggles in sunlight, which there is none.
Yeah. So I've been like upgrading shelves and doing stuff like that. Like I need more bed sheets and towels.
Yeah.
So
those are good goals. I had some free time this afternoon and I went to a TJ Maxx, and this was how I treated myself on this fine free afternoon on payday. Was I bought a new filing compartment for papers and folders and a clipboard. This was my treat to me. It's like, you get to have a clipboard. Because you always, like, you never think you're going to need one, and then you find yourself missing a clipboard, and you're like, I wish I had a clipboard. You can't be too prepared.
Yeah. So I think I've mentioned it here on the podcast before, but my cubicle at work might be more like the militaristic, no nonsense stuff that you have had nightmares about with your boyfriend's rooms. Because I'm part-time at my job, as part-time as I can be without being full-time.
Yeah.
Like they have to send me reminders like, hey, you're getting close to your hours, don't go over, or we'll have to like pay you.
Kyle, you should like let them know, hey, I'm gonna be 30 this year. Can I have a full-time job, please?
I've been asking for 5 years. All right, so I'm about to vent some frustration real quick here. Okay. I have been working there for 5 years now. I started as a student, and then I was basically only a student working there for like 2 or 3 months. And then it was just like, okay, well, I live here in Richmond still, so I'm just going to stay with this job.
Yeah.
When I first started, there was like 4 or 5 student workers doing all of the stuff that I did. Now there's only me. It's just me. It's like I am doing the work of what 4 students did before. So, but the job paid well enough. I remember they gave me one raise that I noticed in my paycheck. They didn't tell me, but it was just like,
weird.
My paycheck is bigger. And then the next, that next one was like, that was the same size. So I guess it wasn't a mistake.
Yeah.
If it was, I'm not going to say anything. But and then every so often I would just be like, hey, what can I get more hours? How can I go full time? What do I need to do to make that happen? And I got told something different every single time. In fact, I got told, hey, when this person leaves, you can go full time. Like we can't hire you on full time because the position you would be in is occupied right now. So when that person leaves, you can go full time. That person was my direct supervisor. Well, my direct supervisor left and they did not hire me full time. And I brought that up and I was just like, come on, guys. Like you told me this would happen. And eventually the team after that supervisor left, they kind of their reasoning for why I didn't get hired full time is they kind of, I guess originally my position was considered in the IT department, though I didn't do anything IT related. And so when he left, they kind of reorganized and they put me with a new team, which is more our marketing and communications team, which is more accurate. But it was just like somewhere in that shuffle, it got lost that they were like, we're gonna hire you full time, and it was like, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months until they moved me up to the third floor. I was in the basement of our building with the IT guys. The rest of my team was on the third floor, and then they were like, okay, you need to start coming to meetings and all that stuff. And it was weird because my old supervisor was like, yeah, you don't need to go to meetings and stuff.
What?
And so it was this weird thing of like, you're a professional, like you should be at the meetings. And I was like, well, that'd be fine, but like I'm a part-time worker, I'm not staff. Like I'm the hired help here. Like if there's something important, you can just tell me. But going to meetings, like I had one this morning. I've now gotten into the habit of finally going to these meetings. I stared at the floor the entire time. I've stared at the floor the entire time of all of the meetings I've been to because they don't pertain to me. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But they moved me upstairs to the third floor. And then I want to say about a year after that, I kind of started noticing some things of like the way they were treating me. And it was like, I could tell they wanted me a part of the team a lot more.
Yeah.
But it was still just like, no one has told me my job has changed. No one has told me my responsibilities have changed. Why are you treating me differently in a set? Like, it seems like you want me to be a part of the team, but no one's telling me anything. Why are you holding me at arm's length? So I mentioned some things along those lines, and they're like, no, we absolutely want you to be a part of the team. You're not the only part-timer on the team. Some of our writers are part-timers and stuff like that. I was like, all right, well, that's fine, but that's not what I do. And then I was like, it's been like 2 years since I've gotten a raise. I like, you guys gave me one automatically once, and like I don't did it stop for a certain reason? I don't know. And they asked me how much I was making, and then they gave me a raise, and it was a huge raise.
Whoa!
But it's still like, that's debatably entry level salary.
Oh no!
So like, it's still like, I can still say for a part-time job, I am paid very well. But it's just like, it like, this is barely what you would pay someone for an entry level position anywhere else. All of that goes to say, this is like the point that I'm trying to make. We had one of our quarterly meetings today. And it was just like, it was more so a presentation by like the vice president of our who knows what. And he was like, this is how we're doing. We're fundraising this much, numbers this, statistics that. And then someone from my department got up and was explaining some of the projects that our team was working on. I'm sitting there confused. I haven't heard of any of these things. What? We're working on a new magazine? We're consolidating the old magazines? That's strange. I've been here for 5 years, longer than the graphic designer that's on the project, and I've been asking for more design work. They've been here a shorter amount of time than me. I've been asking to be on more creative stuff nonstop for the past 5 years. Why was I not told? Like, I've been being like, put me in, coach.
Yeah.
This is what my degree is in. I can do this stuff. The stuff you're having me do now is not what I'm good at. Like, and so it's just like, okay, they're going to get a real serious talking to.
Right.
Real soon. And it's the thing, like, I'm coming up on 5 years, and I've seen a couple people get like minor recognitions for being at the company for 5 years. And so I'm kind of, my 5 years will be in April. I think it was like April 4th or something. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of wait till shortly after that to see if there is some kind of being like, congratulations to Kyle, who's been here for 5 years for doing nothing. We haven't given him shit. But then yeah, I'm gonna be like, hey, what's up? Like, your campaign is called Invest in Me.
Me.
Put your money where your mouth is, okay?
Me, the boy. Yes.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was a big, long job talk rant thing.
No, I feel it.
That meeting was just like, I've been here longer than most of our design team, and I've been asking to be a designer? And okay. There you go.
No, I get it. The way my job works is that we work for this client, and there are certain things that we have to report to the client contacts, right? And I've been doing this specific job for over 2 years now, and I've gotten very seasoned at it. I take it very seriously. I try and be very detail-oriented and like authentic and attentive about everything. And so now I have to report to some of these contacts that are brand new. And I know this is the structure. It is my job to talk to them. When I have a question, I turn around and I ask them. And I am finding like, you don't know how this goes, do you? And I can't blame you because it is a very complex field. Of course you don't know all of this stuff when you've been on the job for a month. But boy, is it frustrating that I have. That this doesn't go the other way around. Just because you work for the actual company and I am a contractor, I am stuck at this one power level and I can't get above it.
Yeah. So my job's about to get a real strict talking to.
Well, make it like a positive talking to. Like, if you want to make a magazine, make a heckin' magazine. And then, well, not an entire magazine. That's difficult. But like, hey, I made an example 5-page spread of things I could do if you put me on that team. Look, because this is what I do when I'm like, I want to make more decisions here. Instead of saying, what sort of email response would you like me to send? It's like, hey, I drafted a potential email response. Could you approve this or give me some tips? And that's been working much better so far.
Yeah, indeed.
Oh,
let's
talk about movies.
job stuff. Yeah, there are like 2 bits of juicy news stuff for movies that I know we want to talk about. Let's start out with Artemis Fowl.
Oh boy.
So I know you were just champing at the bit.
Right.
To talk about this. So the new trailer came out. Finally.
A full trailer. We had gotten a teaser in November 2018.
Yeah. Because this was this one of the ones that was bought up by Disney when they bought Fox?
No. Okay. So the book came out in 2000. I picked this book up also as a 10-year-old. This is happening parallel to me accidentally buying a movie with boobs in it. These things happen in like the same
Kyle
couple
is
months.
writing the same book while watching Celebrity Deathmatch and discovering porn.
Right. It's like we're both looking up at the same moon.
Yeah.
Right. So this book comes out when we're 10 years old. And it's got this little ad in the back saying, like, you could win a role in the upcoming Artemis Fowl movie. This was in development hell for a long dang time. It was going to be made by Miramax, a studio that I don't think exists anymore, and was bought out by Disney.
I don't know.
Does Miramax exist? Or, like, I don't know if it disappeared or if I just happen to have not seen any of their films in the last 5 years. But anyway, at some point the rights got to Disney. So the rights got to Disney, and they began working on it slightly more eagerly, but still not very fast. There was, I think like 2 years ago or something, it was finally said, we're doing it. We're going to make it. Kenneth Branagh is going to direct it, which sounds like a fine fit to me. In November 2018, we get a teaser that barely shows us anything, but shows us just enough to make me feel like, okay. And I knew like the author of the books was working on the script too. Like this looks attentive to what the books are. Right. This looks fairly legitimate. That movie was supposed to come out in May. No, it was supposed to come out in August. And then you told me, no, it had to get delayed until May. And if I remember correctly, it's something to do with like, because of the Fox merger, Disney had like obligations to release other movies first. Like they only had so many time slots and a bunch of movies that they like had to release. So they had to push this one. It is admittedly towards the bottom of the pile in terms of importance. Dumb
because you were so excited and you're like, it's coming out in a month. And I was like, actually.
Right. And so it is, you told me it's going to be May. They've stuck to May.
It's going to be May.
This week we got our first new footage in like over a year. And this is a full-length trailer that actually gives us a sense of what the movie is like. Exactly. Finally.
So
this is such a long, prolonged event. Yes.
Side note, on December 20th, 2019, Viacom CBS announced they would acquire 49% of Miramax from BEIN.
What?
I don't know how to pronounce that company's name. For at least $375 million, with Paramount Pictures gaining exclusive worldwide distribution rights to the Miramax library. Viacom, CBS, and Miramax will also co-produce new content based on titles from the Miramax library. The deal is expected to close in the first quarter of 2020. So they're still around.
Okay.
In one way or another.
Maybe Disney bought out like the publishing house that was making the books, and that's how they got the movie rights. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We have a trailer now. The trailer is what's important.
What did you think? Because I was a little taken aback by it. It's not what I expected. Different.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
Right. I like that this looks like the author who wrote this book initially like 2 decades ago has taken like the same bag of Scrabble tiles, like all the same ingredients are there, and he just shook them up and dumped them out, and he's like, what new words can I spell? Like the same stuff is there, just the narrative and style of it is different, but I dig it. I kind of like that it's like, well, you've known the other version for so long, here's variant B. I'm down with variant B.
It's been forever since I've read the book.
Right.
And so I don't necessarily remember what happened in that first book. So from the trailer, did this make it look like the story was going to be different?
Yes. Okay. So to refresh Kyle and the audience who may not be aware, so this is the story of Artemis Fowl. Artemis Fowl is a 12-year-old Irish boy from a very rich family with criminal enterprises. And he really looks up to his dad, who is this big criminal mastermind. And his dad goes missing during some criminal enterprise. And he's been missing for like 2 years when the first book starts. And Artemis is 12, and he's a super genius. And he decides, well, a lot of our assets have been frozen since dad has gone missing. He is presumed dead. We're surviving, but we're not thriving. I want to get the Fowl family back on top, and I need to get enough money to stage like an even better search and rescue operation for my dad because I believe he's still alive. Somehow he figures out fairies are real.
Yeah.
Fairies are real. And if you
I'll
find
just steal
a fairy,
bunch of fairy gold,
and you kidnap them, you can ransom them for fairy gold.
Yeah.
So this is what he does. He kidnaps this young woman who's basically a fairy police officer on an above ground mission because all the fairies like live below in like the crust of the earth. This is where they went centuries ago after they stopped living in peace with humans. Mm-hmm. So he kidnaps her while she's on an above ground mission. And the whole first book is just the siege to try and get her out of his mansion. And it's just him playing mind games back and forth with like the police team, basically. It's a hostage negotiation story.
Yeah. And
it's cool. But I get that that Disney was like, what if he didn't kidnap someone? What if our protagonist was not a kidnapper, even if it is for good-ish reasons? And at the end of the book, him and the kidnappee like learn to understand each other and they're kind of frenemies. They're keeping some of it. Okay. And then also in the second book, he uses his frenemy connections with the fairies to now go. He finds out his dad has been kidnapped by the Russian mafia. Like that's where he's been the whole time. And he's like, I need help going to Russia and getting my dad back. So that's book 2. This movie is a loose adaptation of those 2 basic plot lines. It seems like what happens now is that there's Artemis and his dad. And his dad, it seems, has always known fairies are real and is like this. It seems like he's a collector of strange and fantastic treasures, but secretly he's been a thief the whole time. And even secretly beyond that, he knows supernatural things. I don't know. And then a fairy kidnaps his dad. And then the butler, the family bodyguard, his name is Butler. This is part of the lore of the books. Like the concept of...
That's what I was about to ask. I was like, I forgot his name. What was what was the name of the butler?
His name is Butler. That's part of the lore, that like the concept of butler is named for this one family that has been doing that thing for centuries.
That's wild.
Right. So Butler has to be like, okay, Artemis, your dad knows supernatural things. Now that he's been kidnapped, we need to go find him. You are a super genius. I trust you to do this. We're going to tell you all about fairies. Let's go get your dad. And it's more of like, like they flipped it around. It's still a let's rescue this hostage story, but they're going to get the dad. The dad's a major part of the story now. He doesn't appear much in these first 2 books because he is out of commission. They talk about him, but they don't talk to him. And it's the whole... So the plot of the movie is more or less Spy Kids.
Yeah.
Which I'm not upset about. And it's got this, and like Artemis in the books to begin with, like he's always wearing these very sharp black suits. The fairies have like technology, like they never stopped evolving and like making things. So like they're hundreds of miles below us in the crust of the earth with like super advanced technology beyond what humans have. And then they come up to Earth with their like wing suits and their camera helmets and their time shields and all this wacky stuff. And they're like, oh, look at this surveillance equipment. How quaint.
Yeah.
So it's got this
4K. We had that 10,000 years ago.
Right. So the movie's got the plot of Spy Kids and this slick sunglasses and black suit wearing sci-fi meets tech Men in Black aesthetic to it, which I'm also down for.
The Kingsman.
Oh, and the Kingsman, yes, also.
Yeah, where
he does that too.
He's introduced to this kind of like secret new world where he gets access to all these like
you're right
all this like badass technology and fancy guns, and they're all dressed super well, and I just like, man, this is like the Kingsman for kids.
That's better than Men in Black, right? This is Kingsman and Spy Kids crossed together, but with fairies and dwarves and trolls and a centaur.
Yeah.
We don't get to see him in the trailer, unfortunately. I have to wait until May to get to see my best centaur boy.
What did you think of Mulch? Mulch Diggums.
Mulch looks great. He's being played by Josh Gad, who I know is an actor that people like have, that they can grow tired of him. He's very, very good at playing an obnoxious character. And this is a skill I personally admire in him. He's excellent at that. He's a valuable utility player in the cinema world today, I think. I think he's weirdly perfect for this. I would have never guessed Josh Gad, but I read this on IMDb and I'm like, this makes tremendous sense.
Yeah.
So Josh Gad is in it.
I'm sure he'll do fine. I'm not super familiar with Josh Gad's filmography. I always envisioned Mulch more like an actual like troll. Like imagine Dobby, but had like gone to the gym. Or like had eaten like a bunch of pizza. Like he's not bunch of pizza, but he's thicker. He has a bigger belly. Mm-hmm. He's just bigger, but he's still small, right?
Okay.
And his whole thing is that he can unlock his jaw,
right,
and dig like his whole thing is he's the like tunnel digger. So he'll eat dirt, swallow it, and then poop it out. Like he has the like
he's a fart machine. That's his skill. That's his weapon is farts.
Yeah. I pictured him in this like old timey like one color jumpsuit with the butt flap that you would see like a farmer. Yeah. Yeah, like the old prospector in his long johns. Like that's what I think of when I think of Mulch. So to see this like highly stylized version where Butler is a black guy with bleached hair, they're all in like super nice swanky suits. It's all like Kingsman like. There's technology. I was like, this is not what I pictured when I read this book at all.
Yeah.
But I like it. It's kind of cool.
Like seems like they just threw it in. They threw it in a big bag and they mixed it up like Chex Mix. Judi Dench is playing Commander Root, which I like.
Yeah. Looking up picture of
and Colin Farrell plays the dad. And again, the dad not a major part in the books. I know Colin Farrell was going to be in this movie. I know the dad was going to be in the movie for more than 10 minutes. But there he is.
Yeah.
One of the top 10 most handsome people I could name off the top of my head. Like, this really seems like a movie for my inner 10-year-old and my modern 29-year-old.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. Like, it looks cool, and I got to admit, even if it is a mess, like, I'm not going to care. It happened. It took it almost 20 years, but it happened. That's all I need. I'm just happy this is not vaporware.
We should see if we can try and get like an early screener or like can we go see like a review showing of this? We've been waiting 20 years for this moment. Look, I applied to be in the movie originally in 2000.
Look, I solved the code. I never solved the code.
No. But yeah, like that'd be fun. That is one that I think I will be there opening night. Just with a giant thing of soda and popcorn and be like, man, this is amazing that this finally came out.
And I don't know if I have any other local friends that are fans of this book, so I gotta talk somebody into doing this with me opening night.
Absolutely. Speaking of, the new Pixar movie Onward is playing this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we already got our time picked out. We're on it.
Oh, good. Did you want to do a reactor core?
Yeah, I sure can.
I think we mentioned that on the last episode of the reactor core. We were like, Onward would sure be a good one.
Yeah, that's the next major film coming out. Yeah,
but we never talked about it. Let's make that happen. I think I might go see it tomorrow.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm excited for Artemis Fowl, though.
Right, and if we go see Onward, we're going to get to see a trailer for it on the big dang screen.
Nice.
Also good.
Speaking of the big dang screen, something else is going to be on the big dang scrin also much later. Speaking of like movies that got delayed. What a
transition, Kyle.
Look, you know what? I'm just keeping the train rolling.
Okay? We're going. We're fighting on top of the train, just like
it's like one of those old like coal-powered trains, and I had like just ran out of coal, and I'm just like, we need more coal, and I have to like find out where the coal is. Anyways, I thought this was interesting.
Yeah.
The newest James Bond film has gotten delayed due to the coronavirus.
Yeah, and this is due to come out in mid-April, like 5 weeks away, and they have now pushed it to November.
Yeah, that's a big push. But yeah, I mean, I've not really been paying attention to the coronavirus stuff outside of the stuff that I see in the video game industry, which it has been affecting a lot of stuff. And this was the first one, at least that I know of, the first like movie that got delayed because of it. Like,
yeah, I've never heard of anything like this.
Because the movie wasn't done, or something went wrong with filming, or they wanted to reshoot something. This is just like, we're worried no one will come see it.
Or we're worried people will go see it, and that will be too many people crammed into a theater. I mean, and I've never thought about it like that. Like, I've never thought about a movie theater as a highly contagion risky place to be. Like, you think about bigger things like that, like with all these conventions and conferences being delayed. It's like, oh yeah, that is a place you could show up and get germs on you and be sick. But I've been thinking about, oh yeah, movie theater. Think about how many screens and how many people are in those screens and how many of them might be there at once. And yes, that also does seem risky. I understand.
And money is changing hands.
Right, yes.
Too, and
there's so many things Yeah, like things are moving around. You got all these people sitting in the same seats one after another. I understand now. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I think I saw something else on Twitter saying that Black Widow is unaffected. They're not changing their schedule. And there was something else that was just like, yeah, we're not changing it. We're going ahead. But yeah, like that was something I did not expect to see.
Right. Like, especially because when you put this in our Discord, it was just the tweet from the production company, and it's a tweet. It's not very long. And it just says something very vague, like, due to the global cinematic marketplace, we have decided to delay this film. And I'm like, what does that mean? And then I saw the article about
Melissa,
the coronavirus.
The global cinematic marketplace.
I'm like, okay, now I understand. But that initial tweet was very confusing.
Yeah. I mean, well, I figured out what it was right away just because I had been keeping up with
I wasn't
all of this
thinking
stuff
about it.
This company is pulling out of this event and all of that stuff. And then here's James Bond being like, yeah, more time to die.
Right. And like this was something where I think James Bond does have a huge international audience. I mean, many things do nowadays, but this is a franchise that has been going since the 60s. Like this really does seem like something where it is like a tradition in people. Like, oh, I go see every James Bond movie opening weekend. You know, I call up my parents and my uncle comes. Like everybody gets around and does it. This is an old enough franchise to have gathered tradition like that. And so I understand that people would reach out and say, we would like to all still be able to do this together later on in a safer time, please. And they're like, okay, we'll see you in November, which makes sense. I think all the other movies have been released in November. I was initially surprised when this was going to be released in April. Like a Bond movie doesn't feel like a spring, summer movie. Those are winter movies. So I'm not really upset about it being delayed because this feels like the universe kind of correcting itself.
James Bond is in April. Send a virus.
No. I mean, like I'm glad that they are being precautious for public health reasons in delaying it, but also like it's like releasing one of the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit movies in like July. It's like, yes, this is like there is a different feel between a summer tentpole and a winter tentpole, right? A James Bond is a winter tentpole.
Yeah, well, I think we're slowly starting to see that happen less and less, but yeah, that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, so what do you think this will do in terms of marketing this film now? Because I'm sure like we were about to be bombarded with all of the new TV spots, and like in 1 month, James Bond doesn't die or something. Maybe he does. Go watch this and find out. In theaters, April 27th.
Jack and I were talking about this, and she was saying that Daniel Craig was supposed to host SNL like the week before this movie was going to be released, and she's like, I hope he still does it. Will he do it again? Like, will he just do it twice this year? Once for the initial planned time and once for when it's really going to be released? Do
they do the, like, the overused obligatory, well, I guess now you have more time to die joke that I just made a bunch of times? But like,
they don't mind it.
Yeah, I mean, like, it'd be kind of funny to comment on that somehow. I think if he stays on and does something, I think Saturday Night Live could do something really fun and clever with that.
Yeah.
With the idea of like, hey, you were supposed to be here to promote a new movie, but you don't, like, what if he gets there and they treat him like they don't know who he is? and that's just the running joke.
If it's not like, the 6 weeks on either side of you having a movie release, we forget who you are.
Right? Yeah. Of just like, hey, I'm here to promote my new movie, and they'll just be like, we don't see a new movie on the list here. So something like that.
Remember
could be really
to buy
funny.
Knives Out on Blu-ray and DVD.
Yes. Yeah. That would be great.
You guys remember Logan Lucky? How about that one?
Yeah, don't forget that Knives Out is now streaming on
Hear me as the uncredited voice of a stormtrooper in The Force Awakens, now on Disney+.
Right. And it's just like no one remembers that he's James Bond. That would be so funny. I'd be down. Make it happen. Hire me, Saturday Night Live.
Well, maybe they'll take you for full time.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was an interesting.
Yeah, I am
tidbit.
intrigued. I've never heard of anything like this. Typically, as you said, when you hear of a film getting delayed, it is because of it isn't ready or the off chance this is too close to something in the news. Like, when I saw that it was pulled, I wondered, like, is there like a bioterrorism plot in this that like nobody knows about? And they're like, oh, there's also a major virus in our movie. Let's wait and delay it. But it seems like that's not the case. I've never heard of a movie being delayed for like international distress reasons.
Yeah. Wild stuff.
Yeah.
Wild stuff. Melissa?
Yes.
You have mice now?
Oh, yes.
What is this?
My roommate texted me earlier this week and said, there's a mouse at the Humane Society that I want. Is it okay if I bring a mouse home? And I said, yeah, that's cool. It's a mouse.
You could have a mouse in the house.
Right. So she goes to the Humane Society, and then she texts me and she says, she has a sister. I can't separate them. I'm bringing home 2 mice.
That's how they get you.
Right.
They get you with that stuff all the time.
This wasn't
there's only
an
2
upsell.
left.
No.
Yeah.
This was her choice.
Hell yeah.
She sees her. They're these 2 sisters. Their names are Pip and
call
Squeak.
This humane? Sorry.
She's like,
Carry on.
I can't split them up. Like, they weren't trying to give her both. She just saw the 2 of them together. She's like, I got to keep the pair together. They're sisters. Mm-hmm. So now in a little cage in her room, we have Pip and Squeak. And they're very cute. They're very small.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've like actually seen a mouse in real life, like right in front of me where I know it to scale with myself. Right.
Oh my God.
What?
I have a story to tell you, Melissa.
Okay.
So,
because mine's basically done. We just have mice now. They don't do much. They're just cute to look at through the colored plastic of the cage. She's going to get them balls, though. She's going to get them rolly balls, and then they're going to explore the apartment, but we're not there yet.
Or the house.
I may have future mouse tales to explain.
Is that the only pet that you guys have in the house?
Yeah. I'm allergic to cats. We don't really... a dog's too much of a commitment. I want to have a dog, but I want to have a dog like when I have a yard and like serious bank to put it in a good school. You know, I don't personally want to raise a dog in a single parent household. Like, I want my dog to have a father. So it's a long-term goal. Boyfriend first, then dog.
So my house I lived in before this one had some mice. So did the house that I lived in before that. These were not pets, though. These were just like wild mice that like got in because the house was just really old and the house was Swiss cheese, right?
Mm-hmm. Their favorite treat.
But in the house I lived in before this one, my bed, I had it in the corner of the room. Because it was the like I think at one point like the upstairs was maybe all one giant room maybe, and they like divided it with a wall later on. But I had my bed in the corner, but in that same corner was like the old school like radiator stuff. It did not work. It was not plugged in, but it like that was just this giant metallic thing that was in the corner. And I thought it was ugly. I thought it was kind of gross. Like it was, you couldn't really sweep back behind there and stuff like that. So I could like look back there and just see, it's like, okay, there's a bunch of like rat poop or mouse poop or stuff back there. This is not fun. So I always tried to cover it with like cardboard and stuff like that, and eventually I got like a shelf to fit on top of that. It helped make it look a little bit nicer and stuff like that. But before I had the cardboard, I would sometimes hear the mice at night. and I could hear him scurrying around, and I would get something and just like stab it, bed them back there, and be like, "Get out of here, pest kids." And I remember hearing one night, but it sounded different. The footsteps didn't sound like they were on the floor; they sounded metallic.
What?
And so I was like, "That's weird. I wonder if it's on top of the radiator." And so, like, as slowly as I could, I reached for my phone and I pulled it over and I turned the flashlight on. And this motherfucking mouse, Mission Impossible style, like arms and legs spread out, holding himself up in between the slats of the radiator.
Oh my God.
And just looked at me like, oh shit. He found me.
I've been disavowed.
Yeah, like, oh, I've been spotted. Mayday, red alert. And it was the funniest thing. And of course, I shot up from my bed, because this was like, my bed was right up against it. So if he wanted to, he could have gotten into my bed. But I was it's like, not gonna happen. So I like shot up to scare him, like back down, and he ran off. He was terrified, but just Mission Impossible style, holding himself up in between, like his arms were out and his legs were out, like holding himself up, and he was like shimmying himself up.
I've never seen a creature do this.
It was amazing. It was so funny. But it was just like, a mouse was like 2 feet from my head and like could have gone into my bed.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Not fun at all. Hopefully, you said their names were Pip and Squeak?
Yes.
There you go.
You can hear them. Well, I don't know if you can, but I can hear them rolling around in their rolly wheel over there right now. They're very rambunctious. But if I go in there, they get shy and they huddle up in a tube.
Yeah, they're just like, giant woman.
Well, hold on. To them, I am the same as any other woman. I am no bigger. I'm taller than my roommate is.
Compared to them, they're so scary. Yes.
But I'm a giant to a mouse, but I am a regular lady.
Yeah.
Regular lady. Here she comes.
Oh. That's your new superhero name.
Regular lady.
It's a regular lady.
It's just me. Day. Hi, I am 5'5". I drive a sedan.
Regular lady.
I went to the gym, and I'll have you know, I ellipticaled 2 whole miles, so you'd better watch out.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll do 3. That's amazing. I'm not like a mouse or rat person.
Oh, no, I have considered getting a desktop pet, you know, like your hamster, gerbil, etc. Rat, perhaps. But it was always like, no, I just want a dog. Like, let me just wait and get like a full size one. Like, I don't want to buy the trial. I want to buy the full size product.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need a sample. Really, I know what I want.
You can't really cuddle with a mouse.
Yeah. It would be nice to have a dog to cuddle with.
Right? Yeah. So. Okay. Well, let's wrap things up there then.
Yeah.
It's getting a little bit late. A little bit of housekeeping. If you did not know, we have multiple podcasts here at the Whatnauts. You guys can find out more information on them on our website, thewhatnauts.com, or your podcasting platform of choice. Just type in the Whatnauts and we will pop up right there. I guess I should note that if you're on Spotify and you type in the Whatnauts, we are not the band.
There is like an old funk
section.
band named the Whatnauts. Yes.
Yeah. Melissa?
What?
I figured out what we're going to do for our 100th episode of the Captain's Log. We're going to review the Whatnauts. We're going to have a discussion about the Whatnauts music. I've never talked about
I don't know what I would
show.
say. Like, this is a great premise. But what if I listen to it and I have 4 minutes of content?
That's why we'll do it on the Captain's Log, and it'll take as long as it needs to.
Okay,
and
this
then
will be a bit on the 100th episode of the Captain's Log. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. We'll talk about the Whatnauts, the band.
Yeah, the Whatnauts, the band, the show. No, I have heard a couple of their songs. I know that Kanye West has sampled them a couple times and stuff like that, and that's how I know of them.
He told your mom, and she told you.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what we should do. That'd be amazing. Good stuff. Okay. So if you like what we do, you guys can also support us on Patreon, patreon.com/thewhatnauts for as little as $1 a month. You guys can get access to episodes early. You guys can get access to the live streams of the review show. You guys can get exclusive content at the $3 tier. We just did our D&D characters. We made up some new D&D characters for one of those, and that was fun. This is the first time that I had created a D&D character.
I hadn't done it in a long time. Yeah,
that's good. That being said, we also want to give a big shout out to our Patreon supporters at the $5 tier. So thank you to Christine, and thank you, Sam, for helping us out a bunch.
Thanks, Christine.
We appreciate both of you guys. I do just have to plug this. We are like $1 away from reaching our first goal on Patreon. So again, if you like what we do, please consider helping us out. Go like, share, subscribe, follow us on Twitch, subscribe to our YouTube. I think we finally made it to 60 subscribers on YouTube. So let's keep that ball rolling. Let's get us above 60 so that we'll stay.
We have to get at least 9 more.
Yeah, yes. We need 9 more. 69 followers, and I'm good. We're done. No, but yeah, we would love to get past 60 just in case some of these subscribers are bots or stuff like that. And
we need a buffer. We need to be in like the 70s at least, so that we know deep within that we do have a real 69 on our hands.
Exactly. Let's keep the ball rolling there. Melissa, where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at WilkyWit. That's WILKYWIT.
You guys can find me at Kyle Springer on Twitter and Instagram. I don't know why I'm laughing.
What?
I got this image in my mind of me choking, like I sometimes do at the end, where I'm just like, oh my god, I almost choked on my own spit, and then I didn't, and I thought it was funny, and I laughed.
Okay.
That's it. That's the show. You guys can find us on Twitter at the Whatnauts. This has been episode 86 of the Captain's Log. We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for checking out our podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. You guys know the deal. I say the same thing pretty much every time on this one. Go leave a comment down below if you guys are going to go see the James Bond film when it finally comes out in November, because it's weird that it got delayed. But in the meantime, go subscribe to our channel, right up there, and go watch one of our other videos right down there. Both of those things would help us out a ton. But until next time, bye.